Board. Welcome to our June joint meeting of Waterfront Parks and Culture and Youth and Ed. Although tonight it will not be a joint meeting because the Youth and Ed portion has been postponed for this evening. My name is Andrew Zelter. I am chair of the WPC. I'm joined online by Paul Goldstein, who is vice chair. And that's James from our staff. And we also have our Community Board 1 chair present with us this evening, Tammy Meltzer. Welcome, Tammy. And also very excited to announce and introduce the newest member of our, are you here for WPC, right? What, both? Excellent. Elise Buxbaum. So why don't you introduce yourself? You said this is your first meeting ever.
This is my first meeting.
Fantastic.
Officially ever. And I'm really thrilled to be here. And I just want to thank so many people in the room that inspired me to try to be a part of the community board. I live in the financial district with two young boys, so that made a lot of sense to me. And I work at the Museum of Jewish Heritage, so the culture, of course, made sense to me as well. And I've been living downtown for about 10 years now, almost, and love it here. Love it. And I'm just excited. So
Fantastic. Great addition to the team. Welcome. Excited to have you.
Welcome.
So why don't we kick it off? We have one agenda item this evening. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong agenda. The Pier 25 topic is going to be rescheduled. So we'll pick that up at a later date. But pleased to have Imani Isaac here with us this evening, who's going to give us an update on all things Governor's Island.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Imani Isaac. I'm Senior Manager of Community Outreach and Partnerships with the Trust. I've been there for about 4 years, and I'm joined with my colleague, Nicole Fogarty, who's our Director of Communications and Marketing. I come to the community board about quarterly to give seasonal updates as it pertains to our fall and winter season, and then our peak season, which really takes place from Memorial Day weekend up until Labor Day. Go ahead and kick it off. So just a reminder for new folks and familiar faces of our operational hours and ferry access. Governor's Island is currently in our late night season. So what that means is from Sunday to Thursday, the island is open until 10 p.m. Bless you. Closing at 11 p.m. Friday and Saturdays. The South Island, which includes Hammock Grove, the Hills, and Picnic Point, will continue to close at dusk. Governor's Island is only accessible via ferry. We operate trust-operated boats from our Manhattan ferry terminal, the Battery Maritime Building at 10 South Street. This includes increased service during peak travel times. We have about a 15-minute service both on weekdays and weekends. And then we also have our Brooklyn ferry service, which is seasonal from Memorial Day up until, I want to say like mid-October, late October. That runs from Red Hook, Atlantic Basin, and Pier 6 and Brooklyn Bridge Park. Additionally, we are served on NYC Ferry South Brooklyn route. Governor's Island ferry tickets are about $5 round trip, but we have a bunch of free subcategories, such as children 12 and under, seniors, residents of NYCHA, and then partner codes for nonprofits, community-based organizations, public schools, and then public camps. Wanting to share some details from our 2026 crit season. For public art highlights, if you have been on the Harbor Charger recently, then you have seen the Spring Migration by Anna Valdez. This is a mural that is displayed on our boat, really calling attention to both migratory and non-migratory birds that you're seeing not only on Governor's Island, but across the city. And then in July, we will open The Oyster by Alan Michelson. This is presented in partnership with More Art and Billion Oyster Project. This piece is calling attention to the oyster structure that we're seeing in our harbor, but also Indigenous communities. I hope many of you in this room have received the invitation for my Tongue is a Blade, but if you haven't, I will send a reminder tomorrow when I get to my desk. This is a 3-hour performance piece that is really encouraged for folks to kind of drop in and out. So that means that you can be there for 15 minutes, you can be there for the full 3 hours. It's an opportunity for the audience to reflect and ask themselves some questions that's what Variant has posed on our website. I can share details, and this will take place on June 19th and 20th at 6 p.m. in Colonel's Row. Highlighting our organizations and residents, just sharing some information for you. Elise, Organizations and Residents is a seasonal program presented by Governor's Island Arts that takes place in the historical houses of Nolan Park and Colonel's Row. It's really an opportunity for us to provide these homes to these organizations, about 24 organizations annually or seasonally, free of charge. And in response to that, they open their doors on weekends to host public programs as it relates to indoor and outdoor activities, exhibits, workshops. Through this program, we're able to serve about over 100 artists. And then in addition to their programming, we also highlight third Saturdays as a way to attract visitors to the island. Separate from the seasonal model, we have, if you could just go back one, we have year-round cultural tenants who also host workshops, talks, volunteer opportunities, such as our partnership with Billion Oyster Project, and more. This is a highlight of public art that is on view always on Governor's Island, wanting to call attention to Brick House by Chicago. This is a new public piece that you can see near Colonel's Row. And then sharing details from one of our cultural tenants, Lower Manhattan Cultural Council. Their River to River Festival will take place from this weekend up until September 27th. They are hosting Catch, which is a performance party. This is going to take place on July 5th, the day after the 4th of July. I think as a way to really call attention to the holiday and, dive into the complexities of our history. This is a ticketed event that starts at 5:30, and then they have their open studios also starting this weekend. This is a spotlight of the many things that we have to do on Governor's Island, but I'm just going to call attention to things that we would love CB1 support and promoting. The first is a reminder of athletic fields being free of charge for all youth groups, all public schools, and all nonprofits. I believe that many of you have my email. If you don't, I can also share it as a follow-up. Many people don't know that Blazing Saddles, one of our biking vendors on Governor's Island, offers an hour free biking on weekdays between 10 a.m. and noon. I think it's a really great way for people to explore the island, also for new bike riders to kind of just learn work hard free primarily. Additionally, we host tours on weekends that spotlight nature, public art, and then general Governor's Island information. NPS continues to open Castle William and Fort J, and we're really excited to continue to work with partners such as Grow NYC and Earth Matter. Something new and exciting on Governor's Island, really located in the South Island, is our activity center. The Trust really saw this as an opportunity to provide our visitors with free recreational activities and games, really seeing this as a way to lightly program our green spaces and allow visitors to understand the many ways in which it can be utilized throughout the peak season. The activity center itself is open on weekends from 12 to 4 p.m. This is just a rendering. It is a container similar to the Welcome Center that I presented last year. It's colored the same. It's really noticeable. I think it's beautiful, and I hope many of you come to enjoy it. I added this in when we thought we were presenting in collaboration with Youth and Education, so I thought this would be a great spotlight. But launching this fall, we are really excited about this climate-focused full-day field trip opportunity tailored specifically to 6th grade public school students on Governor's Island. This is a collaboration with Beam as our curriculum writer and then Turnstile Tours as our field trip operator. But what this will be is really a hands-on learning opportunity for 6th graders to really dive into climate solutions and research, and not only touch and feel real-world climate changes, but also provide them early access to really imagining themselves in the workforce as we see an increase in green economy jobs. And this is a snapshot of some of the Lower Manhattan schools that Turnstile Tours and myself will be reaching out to for outreach for the fall season. I know that this text is very small. And so we have a flyer that I didn't print, But what I'll do is I'll share the flyer specifically with this committee as well as CB1 leadership, so that if there are additional schools that we're not considering, you all can make a note to me and then also share it with them. The QR code allows them to directly sign up for a field trip. And so I think this is a really great opportunity, not only for them to highlight climate, but for them to just generally get to understand Governor's Island at large.
And there are more schools that we can add for you.
This is a snapshot, so there are definitely more schools,
Okay.
but always open to more. Just noting that it's only for 6th graders.
Middle schools, I gotcha.
And although we don't have the Youth and Ed meeting, many of us are on the Youth and Ed committee, so.
So I killed two.
That's perfect.
We have a jam-packed calendar this summer, so this also is a snapshot. This weekend is busy. We have Porch Stomp. We have the Great Nosh, which is a return event highlighting Jewish food and culture. That market will be taking place this weekend. For July 4th, we have the viewing of the tall ships as part of the Sailforth 250 celebration. In July, we have Poetry Fest, July 19th, which I'm personally very excited about because I'm helping plan this event. We will be hosting a final screening in celebration of the World Cup. More details to follow. Imagine a large scale screening, soccer clinics, a DJ, food, just a general good time. I know that Central Park is also hosting a finals watch party, but if you don't want to be overwhelmed with 50,000 people, maybe you can. And then in August, we're really wrapping up with the Coast Guard's 30th anniversary celebration, and then NYC runs. We'll host 2 10Ks, both on August 8th and the 29th. New food highlights in addition to our returning vendors. The first is Theodora Beach Club. This is presented by Resi. It's a new dinner series from Taco Vista in partnership with the Brooklyn-based restaurant Theodora. They host live fire cooking. And so this is taking form at sunset parties and dinner series, guest chef opportunities. This will be running every weekend from June 5th to August 29th. We really see this as a way to not only spotlight Taco Vista's location, which I think all of us in this room are very fond of, but also so that users of Governor's Island can imagine what late night use can potentially look like. And then for those who were not at Sunset Soiree, Fixed Coast by Smorgasburg took over the previous Island Oyster site. This is a new concept which really highlights the coastal flavors of the Americas. So while it is a seafood forward menu, think Caribbean influence and cocktails, they do have family friendly options. And then a lot of their programming includes music, guest chef residency, film nights, and they have more to announce. This is just a highlight of other returning vendors that you all are familiar with and excited about. But please visit our website for their hours and any updates to their menus. So this is my last slide before I open up to any questions. But as always, wanting to provide you guys updates as it relates to our tenant development. So to begin, I think that this is a win. I think CB1 is very excited about this project, the Harbor School expansion. Building 555, which is the building adjacent to their original or existing footprint, is slated to open for this upcoming school year. And then the new build, which includes their new pool, which a lot of your advocacy supported, is slated to open for next school year. So that's 2027 to 2028 school year. Building 140, which is directly left once you get off the ferry at Swanson's Landing, which will be our indoor cafe and restaurant concept. The construction started this spring, and Taco Vista, who was originally slated right next to the site, is continuing to operate from the previous Chautauqua location. Building 301, which is right on the waterfront closest to Yankee Pier, is currently under construction. Nolan Park, building 20 is complete. Tenants have moved in, BOP and NYU Gallatin. We'll keep you all informed of any potential ribbon cuttings and openings. Nolan Park Building 19 is now currently under construction. So we're really excited because we think that this Nolan Park Arts Campus is really taking full form as we begin with updated construction. The New York Climate Exchange welcomed their new CEO a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, a few weeks ago. So I'm sure he'll be reaching out to you soon to meet the community board, but for now, all discretionary applications are in place and their design is completed. QCNY is completing the final phase of their construction, so that third building this summer. And the electrical substation, which is located in the Eastern Development Zone, is currently in construction with an estimated completion of next summer. That is all. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much. Well, we start in the room. Tammy?
Two things. One, I love the electric ferry. I just will say thank you at every point possible for leading the way, and geez, don't I wish that everybody else did. That's impressive. Two, I had heard that there was a new operator at the spa. Is that accurate?
No, it's still QCNY.
It is still QCNY. Okay, awesome. And then, we're happy to send out whatever notices you have.
Yep.
Oh, I had a couple of questions about the usage on the fields, during the day versus like evenings, afternoons, weekends. And then I wanted to ask about, the free rides are 10 to noon on the bicycles.
Sure. 10 to noon, Monday through Friday. I think potentially excluding holiday Mondays, but I can share the Blazing Saddles email with you.
Yeah.
And it's also I have a group visit guide that I'll send us a follow up in the climate field trip flyer. Do you want to know about athletic field usage?
If you don't mind.
I think during the week, we've seen an uptick in the last year of athletic field use, mainly from public schools using it for a field day. To kind of manage groups, because we've got a lot of school inquiries of classes, 150 plus. To manage them, as soon as you are a group of over 100, you're required to move an athletic field reservation one, so you have the central meeting location for visitors who have never been to the island before. Also, we just think that they're beautiful, and why not spend your class day there? Aside from that, Downtown United Soccer Club uses the parade grounds weekly for their pickup games and practice. And then I'm interested, I can go back to the operations team, I don't have the information on that, but I'm interested on what usage looks like after 4 p.m. I think our reservation website right now doesn't allow you to make a reservation after 4:30, but for building momentum up to the World Cup final screening, we've been working with this nonprofit called Project 96, to lead monthly pickup games for adult play. And that's been taking place from about 4 to 8.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to understand kind of usage and just to be able to coordinate. It's one of those fields that you don't see unless you're out there. So, any way that we can help, if we get people who come to us and say, we're looking forward, do you have any ideas? So just help us.
Yeah, it's baseball field, soccer, rugby, those are kind of the primary sports.
We have a promotional flyer that I can share, so that way, if you have inquiries, you can just read them.
And then my third and last question is, I was one of those people who on the public commentary was very concerned about the removal from October to April of the ferry service from Brooklyn. Because I know that a lot of the students and staff at the harbor school actually come from Brooklyn. So if I understand correctly now, their commute is, if they're going by ferry, they have to get to Pier 11, walk from 11 down to the Governor's Island. Is that
If they
correct?
want to use our ferry.
Or NYC Ferry is year round for
Yeah.
Brooklyn, but
For Brooklyn to the island.
yeah, on the South Brooklyn route.
Okay,
So I know that
that's
they
what I
have
was thinking.
discounted tickets for students that I
Yeah.
think the harbor school like played a part in advocating for.
So they reduced one Brooklyn line, not both. Because in the
Yeah, they did. So now it's like the South Brooklyn route doesn't go to Bay Ridge or Sunset Park anymore. It ends at Governor's Island. So it's really just that like South Brooklyn waterfront of like Red Hook, Atlantic Avenue, Dumbo. But yeah,
That was kind of, because I
Yeah.
remember there was conversation about it, and we had outreach from staff and faculty, saying that they were concerned about their ability to commute to this.
yeah, NYC Ferry, yeah, that's still in it's
Interesting.
yeah, but yeah, it still goes directly to Governor's Island from Brooklyn.
And then when your development goes further, will you be petitioning NYC Ferry to potentially increase?
We're, hoping that we can work with EDC to make sure that, just like we'll increase our ferry service and capacity to make sure that. Because there's no use in making Governor's Island this incredible place if it's not accessible,
Income? Okay, thank you.
Actually, I had the same question about the ferry. How's it doing? I love the name, actually. any problems with the operations, in case you know, we have the electric ferry.
We actually have some pretty good updates on the
Okay.
electric ferry. Well, we just, so this is just, we were recently featured in, a Wired magazine story about electrifying ferries across the US, but so for research that we did for that, we found out that we're actually cutting more emissions than we anticipated. So we anticipated our hybrid ferry would cut our emissions by 600 tons annually, but it's actually closer to 780 tons every year, so we were very excited to be doing better. That's the fun, and the ferry has been running pretty smoothly. People enjoy the quieter ride.
It feels quicker.
It
too,
is quicker.
Which I'm like a little sad about, but I like those 7 minutes before I walk to my office. Now it feels like 5, but.
I think it was an adjustment period for riders. I know it was for me too, just being used to the Corson and being used to, I had my spots, I had, and so, but people have really been loving it. And we were talking about this earlier, but this isn't the electric ferry, but we recently opened up the top deck of our other passenger only ferry, giving more opportunity for folks to ride outside, which is everyone's favorite part of riding.
In the
ferry. Yeah, yeah, in the summer.
It's a really nice ride.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, keep question.
Any other questions in the room? Sorry, so.
Yeah. Same mindset.
Is it possible to make a few comments from metro area of Northern Coalition? To add on to the.
If we can be brief, sure.
Sure. I'll just move over here. So, I am Roger Manning, co-founder of Magic, the Metro Area Governors Island Coalition. You may know me. Actually, Magic had the first meeting with the board of Governors Island last week, and it was nice. It mostly served as a sort of friendly introduction, although we flagged a few things, which I'll bring up briefly. But and then myself, I grew up in Western New York in a small town that resembles Governor's Island, actually. Moved here in 1982, and which was my first visit to Governor's Island, was 1982, to jam with a guy in a Coast Guard. Anyway, so that's a little background there. And yeah, Magic essentially is, it's a community coalition that's concerned with the sort of green open space quality of Governor's Island. It's a refuge for people and wildlife. And our priorities are preserving that field, that open space quality, maximizing adaptive reuse, keeping new development low rise, ideally, and minimizing privatization. So that's a quick overview there. And the things that we flagged, we sent an email to the trust a couple of weeks ago, concerns about glyphosate Roundup, notorious pesticide that's banned in New York City parks. It's Trump's pet pesticide right now. There's a lot to it, and we sent it to the community board one as well. And if you didn't see that email, you can let me know. We can send it to anyone. Email us, and we'll send it to you. And our website is govislandcoalition.org, by the way. That's a good way to get in contact. So, I mean, what we were concerned about is that one of the major sprays in Governor's Island, we have a map in our presentation on our website that shows you where a lot of it's around Fort J and it's in the hills. And then the mugwort is back. I think it's really beautiful, but we're, oh no, not going to spray again, are you, please? And anyhow, Sarah Krautheim from the trust replied to our email, said there's no plans currently to spray glyphosate right now. So that's good, and we hope that continues. The two things we flagged in the email that I'll just summarize. One is that the public was never really kept off those areas. And we haven't been not so great with communicating directly with the top of the trust, but we've been communicating with, we always communicate through the staff when we're doing that on the island. So, that's a concern that was expressed. And anyway, and I'm trying to make this brief somehow. Really look at the email. I'll send it to you. But the other concern was that Grow NYC's new teaching garden location, which is an awesome location, about a third of that was sprayed with Roundup. And there's volunteer groups in there, there's children in there, there's people in there, there's going to be food grown there. I mean, the Roundup area was brown until about a month ago. Now it's not looking that bad, but Roundup doesn't go away that quick in soil. Anyway, it's a concern. We think that they shouldn't be at that location, that condition. The other thing we flagged was building heights. Harvard School Extension Building, awesome. Magic suggested putting that building there in that location, so that's awesome. But it's so big, it's so huge. And we're really urging Community Board 1 people to go to Liggett Terrace, walk through the arch, into Liggett Terrace and look to the right. You gotta really be there to see the impact. It's a reality check. It's only 1/3 the height of what the zoning allows, and it's just a monster. It's blocking out, it's very intrusive. And then essentially, it's not too late for us or somehow to keep the island from being boxed in by high-rise buildings. I mean, and the Climate Center roller coaster, beautiful building, that's almost twice as high. I mean, it's 127 feet there. So we're flagging that. We'll send internet links so you can look at the stuff in more detail. But aside from that, I want to thank the staff and Governors Island for all the amazing stuff that you do, and Community Board 1 for supporting Governors Island and everything else.
So thank you for sharing those points.
Yeah.
Helpful to understand.
Yeah, and I have some magic flyers for anyone who might want.
Can I just respond to Roger's comments? Just wanting to call attention to the fact that the trust did respond directly and provided him with a statement to share with this room. Yes, we do have invasive species on Governor's Island, as do other green spaces across the city. We are always dedicated to sustainable practices. Previously used glyphosate with all approvals from DEC. We're continuing to monitor our invasive problem, and we do not plan to utilize glyphosate at this time. Just wanting to share that. And then I think as a follow-up to his point about building limits, we have some facts around the climate exchange and their limits for buildings that have been approved, not only by CB1, but by our board. And then same for the Harbor School, they are within the zoning requirements for zoning limitations for new development.
And those zoning limitations are wrong. It's not right. And we do acknowledge that you guys have used very ecological methods with invasives, and that we're not saying that the regulations weren't followed, but I mean, legality, cigarettes are legal. I mean, come on.
Oh, and then one more thing that I forgot that you mentioned about Girl NYC.
Yeah.
We treated their site prior to their move-in. We never sprayed any plants. We're in constant communication with their team, and they're very aware of our plans.
Okay. Thank you for that feedback. Okay, any other questions or comments online? I just had a couple I wanted to put forward, but I want to make sure everyone's had a chance to ask their questions. Joe or Paul, do you have anything? Paul?
Yeah, I was just going to ask how attendance is going at Governor's Island, and how does it compare with years past?
I was just looking at this, actually. It's pretty even. Usually around this time in the year, since opening year round, we're hovering at around like 250 to 275,000 people, and we're kind of right in that, on the lower end of that this year, but we're around like 240,000, I think. That was through May 31st. So pretty solid standing.
Something I think that this group would appreciate. Last year, we introduced year-specific codes for nonprofits, community-based organizations, public schools, etc. And we were able to see that 10,000 visitors came to Governor's Island quickly using those codes. So I think that that's a way, and I'm excited to understand what that growth looks like.
Yeah, if anyone wants to talk about the inflection, hit me off, but it's a great way to look at, like, we know all these schools are coming, we know all these kids are coming, we see the hundreds of students
Right. It's
on the
like
island every day, but yeah, getting information on who's coming, how many, so yeah, that's great. Great addition.
Great, thank you for that. Christine? Yep, go ahead. Do you have your hand up?
Yeah, I do. Sorry about the light. The sun is coming directly in on me, and I tried to close the blind. So apologies if it looks funny. I have a comment. I recently, I take the ferry to Rockaway quite often, and coming back, we actually came along the side where the new build is, and I believe that's the high school. I was taken aback at how tall it was. I from the boat, you could see it really stuck out. And I counted, I guess maybe is it 5 floors or 3 floors?
I don't have the exact number.
It's 75 feet.
It's 75 feet. Okay. So what is the limitation again for you to build there? Because it was, and what are the considerations? You know, I don't think it has landmark status, Governor's Island. I'm not sure, but it does. I mean, it's obviously very precious to all of us, and to you as well, I'm sure. But what are the plans and for any new buildings in the Heights? Because it was, it did take me aback. I thought it was quite tall. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. So, new developments on Governor's Island in those development zones, we do have height restrictions. We're happy to share that information with you all as a follow-up to this meeting and any kind of more specific questions about building regulations. We've got a fact sheet we can share, FAQs, stuff like that.
As of the zoning, it's 225 feet. Building height limit with now 55 feet for obstructions because City of Yes raised that from 40 feet. And you can see that building from Wagner Park, by the way, I meant to add.
I would recommend to the board, anyone on the board, that if you haven't taken a look, if that's only 75 feet, I would highly recommend that you take a ferry ride. It's quite lovely, and take a look at it from the boat. It's quite tall. I can't imagine something being double that size. It would be
It's
quite.
It's only 1/3 the height of the allowed.
Yeah,
height.
that's
And
concerning. It's
just
concerning.
let me add, I mean, building height on Governor's Island's been a topic that's been discussed for quite some time.
That's right, yeah.
It's been addressed at a number of meetings, not just this, but others. So the sensitivities are well known, they're understood.
I will say we did try and fight for buildings that were not gonna be taller than Liggett Hall. We lost on that zoning fight.
Community Board 1 had an excellent resolution, by the way.
But it didn't meet with what the current administration, nor quite frankly, the development and economic EDC wanted for Governor's Island. And so we are where we are. I, don't think that we're in a position that we will be able to rewrite history. And we can hope that the buildings that end up being built as part of the climate center and others are actually visually complementary to the open.
And to that point,
Thank you,
given
Tim.
what you had on that development slide, I do think it's appropriate to have the climate center come back and
Yep.
really give us an update, particularly if they have new leadership.
Great. I'll make a note.
So if you can help us with that,
Of course.
that'd be great.
Of course. And really see that as the purpose of my role as the liaison between the trust and CB1, hearing your feedback and your concerns and really bringing that back to our leadership team so that we can remain aligned. I think the Harbor School expansion is probably some of the newest build that we've seen on Governor's Island. And so it might be shocking to the naked eye because we don't get much new development. A lot of our construction is adaptive reuse. But when you think of the type of use for said new building, I think it is a real win.
And people forget 2 years is a really long time.
Right.
And we broke ground just over 2 years ago, I want to say something around there about it. We were very excited because the school needed the space. And it's kind of hard to teach diving out of the pool.
It didn't look that bad on paper, but it's just gotta go there and see it. And the substation is quite intrusive, and that's only 40 feet, or it's 50 when you have the dirt underneath it, just saying.
So again, I all great points, things that we've addressed quite a few times, and I think to Tammy's point, doesn't mean we can't discuss it, but we've commented, we've provided feedback, and here's where we are.
There are things that can be done.
Let's save those for another time if we can, please.
Yes.
So a couple of quick questions. How many ferries are actually operating today? Two.
We have
So
two,
one is the electric,
and then the other is the Gov one, which was recently retrofitted to include the upper deck, so. So we have the Harbor Charger, which is a hybrid electric one that's passengers and vehicles, operational vehicles only, and then the Gov one is passengers only. And those two running.
got it. And that's really your capacity operating two ferries?
Certainly. And then in the weekends, and holidays during the summer months, we are ferry operators, we get waterway, so they bring in their boats to operate our seasonal railroad service.
Got it. Okay, and then not for this evening, but coming back to the field utilization. You mentioned Dusk. There are a number of other community leagues that have a history of using that, but are not using it currently, Downtown Little League being one of them. And some of the reason for that had to do with the, I'll call it infrastructure of the fields. For example, we couldn't, and I don't want to go too deep, but where I'm getting at is I think it'd be helpful to revisit some potential enhancements to the logistics of using the field, like being able to determine if it rained overnight, if the fields are playable the next morning. We had a lot of issues with that. Tammy has brought up a number of times lack of shade at the fields.
It's the entire reason why I own a boat sports shelter. When my kids were young, I
Feel
was,
it.
yeah.
I personally feel it.
Yeah.
Right there.
So I would love to follow up. I'm involved with DLL. We have a number of also shared board members with Downtown Soccer League. I'd love to follow up to revisit that.
Yeah,
'Cause I-
maybe what would be helpful is if there is a way to compile some of that feedback into an email so that I can share it with our operations team and
Sure.
then we can just talk.
Is
I
Tim
am-
still part of the operators?
No.
Not with us as he's not with Governor's Island?
No.
Not with us. Good.
Yeah, that's,
Wow.
But we have
Great,
a
great
great
person.
It's
operations
fantastic.
team.
yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah. Oh, wow.
I can't confirm that we can address every concern, but I
I
want to work
understand.
with you
Just
guys.
have a conversation. Yeah.
Field status, yeah.
We can do like a roundtable
Okay.
with them, and instead of like bulks of emails back and forth, one Zoom meeting, roundtable, or live in person, either way, kind of can make a lot more.
Or even if it's been a while since they've been to the island, I'm always down to take people on that tour. That's what we can do. We can spotlight the two athletic field locations and then I can collect feedback in real time.
Can I ask why you didn't do the sheet? They were really.
Finish their.
Yeah, they did
Like,
what they.
you have invasive species.
So sheep only work on, or as far as I understand from our horticulture team, that is for a small scale project like Hammock Grove, that like discrete area in Hammock Grove. We can't necessarily have sheep
Grazing the whole
roaming
island.
the land. They destroyed the rhizomes that they came there to destroy and.
Open more petals. as
Yeah,
they
we've
fall
opened
back.
more walking paths where they like.
And the goats that we used to have on the,
On Earth Matter. I think that is on pause this year as they finish their relocation.
okay.
What?
There were goats that
Oh, yeah,
were
the goats,
used
yeah.
in New York City parks, also on the Upper West Side and out on the island, so I'm like, where are the goats? I heard from my daughter the goats and sheep were gone and she was really upset about it.
Chickens, we got chickens. At Earth Matters, so yeah, they are important to the composting process.
Yeah.
In fact.
And then for food events that you're having, are those ticketed events or?
Ticketed.
Okay. And is there a sense of capacity for those types of events?
In terms of
Like the-
like
Presumably
how
it's,
many people,
yeah, how many,
I can get back to you on that.
okay, I'm just be interested in that. And then the activity center, so you described it as a container.
It's a shipping container.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I presented on the
Yeah,
Waterfront Center?
yeah,
It looks like that in theory, but maybe about a quarter of the size.
got it. And you said it's retrofitted for recreational activity and
So when you
games?
open up, you'll be able to speak with a visitor services associate and
Got it.
say, I want to play toss and catch. And
Where can I
you'll be
do
able-
that?
No, it's all right there in the container. So
Like you
give
could sign out soccer balls and balls and
Oh,
work with them.
So in a small container, you can have physical recreational.
Yeah, we just have the
activity?
games behind and then you take them with you and enjoy a green space.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, yeah,
I see.
No, we're not playing the
Not
games.
using that handy- Got it, that's what I was saying.
Exactly.
Very.
I think it was in response to us having this plethora of green space and our visitors coming and saying like, okay, well, what should I do now? And so we wanted to provide them with some type of activity.
Frisbees, like binoculars for bird watching.
Cornhole.
Yeah.
A bunch of things. And it's not just for games. Like Nicole said, there's educational opportunities. So we work with Bird Alliance and have binoculars for bird watching and a bird guide, nature scavenger hunts.
Yeah.
Do you do,
That's fun. That was-
it would be fun if we got the bird glasses, if you actually had, somebody to talk to you saying,
Oh.
To tell them about the birds.
Do you have
I
access
love
to
that.
Sorry, what are you talking about?
Wait, it's
What are you talking about?
glasses?
connecting with, somebody who can do identification stuff and like when the bird ones.
A tour.
Like
Yeah.
a tour?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bird Alliance does, no glasses involved, but Bird Alliance does free, bird walks every Saturday, but yeah.
That's fun.
Is that,
So,
is that by registration?
You can register, but they take walks.
Okay.
David?
I'm sorry for my late arrival. I think I missed something. You spoke of like over 100 artists in residence. Did I catch that it was like an open studios event every weekend?
Oh, so Open Studios, I mentioned in reference to the Lower Manhattan Cultural Council, but the organization in residence, which is the public program presented by Governor's Island Arts, they open their houses Saturdays and Sundays.
So what exactly is open on Saturdays and Sundays?
The houses with their exhibits, their workshops, their programming.
Okay,
And then the Open Studios event that Imani, pointed out was Lower Manhattan Cultural Council. They have artists in residence in their building. So most buildings, Governor's Island, if you go on the weekend, there's gonna be artist in residence and really cool arts.
Got a lot of art.
From nonprofit organizations around the city.
I have a question
Thank
regarding
you.
that. What time
I
do they?
love open studios.
11 to 5 is Saturday, Sundays, 11 to 5 is generally the time.
Great. Any other?
Yeah, I'd like to say something. As a member of the Governor's Island Board and of this board, I think it's fair to say that both this board and the Governor's Island Board appreciates the mission of Magic and the spirit behind the mission of Magic. And that both boards take that mission very, very seriously and act on it with great integrity, is what I've found. And I think we heard earlier about how the board, Governor's Island Board, addressed the issue about the spray, which no one was really happy to do, but felt there was no alternative after consultation with DEP and other agencies. So I appreciate what you brought here today, and the mission, as I said. But I really want to commend as well the Governor's Island people and how they approach it. And thank you both for.
Thank you for that. Anything else? If not, thank you for a great update. Always glad to have you here. And if you can help us getting
Yeah.
the climate
I'll
center.
send an email tomorrow with the follow-up flyers and then I don't think I have your contact.
I'll make sure you get them. I'll send you.
Okay, perfect. And then we can find a time to meet for the day.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So just before we wrap, we have Therese Flores on the line. Therese, I don't know if there's anything I don't want to put you on the spot. I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to share with the group this evening.
No, if you have any questions and you need to contact me, I can put it in the chat. We've got a lot of things going on. Pier 5's got a swing coming. I just got an update today that it's the 26th or the 29th. Hopefully, they're galvanizing the steel right now. So they had to be fabricated. They're very custom. We have to go through a few logistics to be able to install them. I have to find the right people, the right tools, the right equipment. They're like 500 pounds. So please bear with me and have a little bit of patience. We're working as hard as we can. We're finding the right people to do this.
So just on that point, and I'm not sure I'll articulate this very well, but these swings seem incredibly high maintenance. do we need, given what their function is, do we need something that elegant or top shelf?
You know, working in Manhattan for 20 years, we have very high use, which is a blessing and a curse. You know, and beautiful things are needed everywhere. You know, and it's hard to
Good
justify
point.
beautiful things all the time. I mean, I'm always trying to justify flowers and weeding. It's very hard.
Yes. Oh,
And
fair
getting
point.
water, all those things. So yeah, I hear you.
And then one quick question, and apologies, you might have come back to us and I might just be having a senior moment. The dog run and having water access at the dog run so that interested volunteers could help facilitate maintenance and cleanup. Did
So
we,
I
did we
had
determine?
the week later we had the water turned on. We had a little bit of a like a very bad winter that caused a lot of breaks. So the plumbers were really backed up with work. And so it was a little bit of a delay trying to get that water on. And so after I push and push, we got some water on the next week. It should be working. I can go check tomorrow, make sure it's working. And if anybody needs hoses or nozzles and things like that, I can bring it.
So thank you for that. I had shared that with the gentleman who came to talk to us about it. I gave him your number, which you graciously shared. Thank you for that. I will just go back to him to sort of close that circle to make sure he's aware the water is on. And if he has any supplies that he requires to reach out to you directly. Thank you for that. Do you mind taking a question or two in the room?
Horace, go ahead. I'm here.
Yes, hi Teresa. This follows up to Andrew's question about the dog run. Is your staff able to install some sort of pigeon deterrence underneath the girder? Because that'll preempt a lot of the waste.
I think that was DOT, wasn't it?
I have info. DOT is gonna do that.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry for the birds, yeah.
God
That's
bless you.
great.
Thank you for working with them. You were the best.
So that did come up, and you might have brought it up, and Therese had directed us to DOT, so.
DOT said that they will do that, yes.
Great.
Thank you. And there's a lot of benches throughout that whole area underneath the FDR that are really affected by that pigeon dropping. So if they're putting up spikes at the dog run, that's great. If maybe they could do a few more areas, I'd love it.
Yeah. So Therese, on that note, why don't we touch base with Zach and the three of us come up with looking at the space and really trying to identify a little bit further afield from the dog run, what needs to be done where for the whole length of it. Because I know Battery Bridges has been asking about that in other areas as well for the hopeful expansion of more seating and more planting beds and more other things. What do you think if we hit a phone call like that?
Yes, please. That'd be great.
Okay, awesome. Love that.
Thank you. Anything else for Therese while we have her? If not, thank you as always for joining. It's really helpful to have you join us for these sessions. You never know when things come up, so.
I do want to bring up one thing. We
Sure.
were very lucky to get 3,600 square feet of sod installed partially by New York Cares last week at City Hall on the Warren Street path. And I've noticed a lot of dog owners are very worried about, not being allowed to use that area. We're trying a new method this year in watering wherever the dogs pee. And I'm trying to talk to dog owners about not peeing on the grass in a very kind way that's not, telling people what to do and shaking my finger at them because there's not a lot of spaces for dogs. So as we go, we're working with the community to try and keep this grass alive and make it look nice. And we're slowly getting it to look good every day. So bear with us. If anybody has any information, any need for information on that, just reach out to me.
That's just such a difficult task, keeping that grass intact.
I think we are also working on an opportunity with City Hall Park Conservancy for other areas that were over by the trees that were less grass intensive to potentially have an area where the dogs could be. And, again, lots of new neighbors in the neighborhood, lots of new apartments, brings
Like,
lots of furry friends.
I would love to encourage finding a space that isn't in need of extreme care due to the numbers of dogs we have. You know, the trees are impacted, the plants are impacted, and trying to invite all of our neighbors to use those areas would highly damage, I think, our horticulture. And we really enjoy shade. We really enjoy having healthy trees. So finding a space that's more suitable is really in my interest. I'm hoping that others will come up with a better place that will help us to maintain the park and beautifully, keep the horticulture, especially when there's such a shortage of water and ability to water. We're fixing the irrigation system right now, and combating that urine and the salt in it and everything is really hard to do without enough water on those plants.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you about a non-plant thing for City Hall Park? Blue stones?
Go ahead. Yeah, the bluestone. So we've got some pieces that are breaking and flaking, and I've heard a lot of reasons why that happens. There's different types of bluestone that have different ages, and so some of the pieces are flaking apart and breaking. So as they break, we try to replace them with either concrete or pieces of stone that we're finding from other parks that are renovated, like just repurposing and salvaging bluestone from other parks. So as the pieces are available and as the masons are available, we're addressing it. So I'm having to do surveys probably every 2 weeks as storms and heavy traffic and vehicles are driving on things on the northeast side. And so it's just something that I have to keep on top of until we can find enough money to get all of these areas replaced.
Yeah, we'd be happy to do a walk around. There's a couple places on the northeast and the northwest side, actually on the past Tweed. That's a bit of a problem. And then I guess the question becomes, I had heard that the sidewalk on the south corner where the truck fell in was actually not going to be fully reopened and the access to the park from that way. Could you comment?
Yeah, so it's being investigated what the actual cause is, so that we can fully repair that. And it incorporates interagency. We have to use DOT, I think DEP and MTA, and trying to be able to figure out what's causing that to sink like it is an engineering issue that we're going to have to go back underneath and look at. So it's in the works. We're trying to schedule it soon. And it's an unfortunate thing that, we have to figure out.
Well, you're always welcome to use our office. We've got a lovely meeting room here, so you're welcome. If you need a space to sit, we'd be happy to help you there if it gets it moving forward fast.
Before Eric has one more question. Oh, you're good?
Tammy.
So I'm curious, does Parks have any role in the parade tomorrow? Or Thursday?
Yes. We're working very hard to prepare for it and make sure everything's safe and clean and beautiful. So you'll see a lot of us running around even tonight. I think we have quite a few people running around making sure things are nice and set.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
It'll be fun, but absolute craziness.
So happy to be doing this. It's a great reason to be doing this. I'm just
I hear you. Yeah,
watch
I hear you.
Game 4 and Game 5. I'm just too excited.
It'll be a stressful day though, nonetheless. But anyway, good
Worth
stuff. Yep. All right, if nothing else, I think we can adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Seconded? Anyone? Great. Thank you, everyone. And we're done.
Thank you.